Hello, my name is Kai, and I'm just going to be making a short video today talking about Liverpool's fixtures for next season. But before I get into it, it'd be great if you could like the video, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on Twitter and Substack at The Counterpress. So, we have a few friendlies before the season starts against Sunderland, Wrexham, and Leeds so far. We might have more friendlies that get scheduled, we'll see. I mean, we're getting pretty close to the World Cup. Our first game is the 23rd of August, and then the second is the 29th of August, so we have two games before the transfer window closes against Newcastle away and Forest at home. Newcastle away as an opener is probably a very interesting fixture for us. Obviously, we've taken Victor Munoz from them. We've taken Alexander Isak from them. We poached Hugo Ekitike before they could get him. Our relationship with Newcastle has definitely been strained as a result of a lot of our transfer business. So I think it'll make for a very interesting game. And then we also have to play Nottingham Forest at home. Again, I don't know how good they're going to be under Vitor Pereira. They're going to lose Elliot Anderson. It's another game I expect us to win. Now, I think overall we have a pretty good distribution of fixtures. We don't really play many hard games back to back. You can see that, yeah, we're going to have some of these fixtures get moved because, of course, there's going to be Champions League games in between a couple of these. For example, if there's a Champions League game between Man U and Everton away, right? Man U at home and Everton away. That might be difficult depending on who it is. Of course, Sunderland's not going to be easy. Games like Villa away won't be easy. Chelsea away. I mean, this 3-day stretch from Sunderland at home to Chelsea away is probably going to be very difficult, especially because we then have, games like Spurs and Villa in the same month. 6 games in December, I think, is just obviously going to be insane, but at least we're playing a game on Boxing Day, and I'd love to play Hull away on Boxing Day. It feels like a really classic Prem fixture. But overall, the distribution of fixtures is pretty good. Our run-in is going to be pretty difficult because we have to play Chelsea and Man City, and we're especially going to have issues because it's, even this isn't on the screen because of how I've set this up, we have Chelsea at home and Man City away on the 1st of May and then the 8th of May. Again, those fixtures can also get moved around. Brentford, Brighton, and Bournemouth to end the season. Again, not necessarily the easiest. Our run-in, we have like Forest away, Leeds away. It's not an easy run-in, but I do like that we don't have a lot of like really good fixtures back to back. There's enough distribution where I think it'll probably suit an Iraola side. We're going to have to rotate massively this season. Massively this season, because we have, of course, Iraola's style of play, which is Bielsa murder ball light. It's going to require pressing, dynamism, rotation from a lot of our players, and not having to play a lot of good teams back to back will benefit that. Of course, depending on how the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, and the Champions League go, we might have some games get moved around or some difficult games in between games that are like 7 days apart, like I said before with the Man U and Everton game. It's also a bit problematic that we play pretty much all of the big 6 at home in the first half of the season and then play all but Chelsea away in the second half of the season, because we play Man City at home first, then Arsenal at home, United at home, Chelsea away, and then Spurs at home, and, vice versa in the second half of the season, except Chelsea, of course, are at home and the rest are away. That's a bit of an issue, but also, this is also a bit of a misnomer because there's more teams in the league that are going to be good now, like your Newcastles and Villa. Both of these teams we're going to play away from home in the first half, so I think that balances it out a bit. And I think other teams like Sunderland's going to struggle, Leeds are going to struggle a bit. I mean, Leeds are going to get better, but I think they're still going to struggle. Some of the newly promoted sides from last season. Sunderland, I think balancing Europe is going to be hard. We play, of course, like Bournemouth away in the first half of the season, but them balancing Europe with Marco Rose, a manager who I don't rate that highly, is also going to be difficult. It's also going to be interesting to see how Brentford do this season, because we're going to play them away in October, and we'll see if Keith Andrews can kind of maintain that really high-flying momentum they had, at least in a large part of the season, where until they about fell away at the end. I like that we don't play a newly promoted side right away. I like that, we're going to have some time before Ipswich away under Gary O'Neill. But I don't really like that we're starting away from home at St. James's Park. That's going to be a really hostile atmosphere, I think. And I hope Alexander Isak plays well, because he's going to be met with a very, very bitter, antagonistic atmosphere. And as for the Champions League, we're currently in Pot 1. So PSG, Bayern, Real, us, Inter, City, Arsenal, Barcelona in pot 1, pot 2, Dortmund, Roma, Sporting, Villa, Porto, United, Bruges, Betis, and PSV. Pot 3 is Feyenoord, Lille, Napoli, Leipzig, Villarreal, Shakhtar Donetsk, and Galatasaray. And pot 3 or 4 could be Slavia Prague and VfB Stuttgart, depending on, of course, who else comes through. And pot 4 being Como and RC Law. I think based on the scheduling that I have, it looks like the first UCL match day is going to be in between this Ipswich and Fulham game. It looks like the next one is going to be in between this Man City and Brentford game. And then we have another one between the Brentford and Brighton game, another one between the Arsenal and Palace game, another between this Man U Everton game. I think that'll be the most difficult one out of the ones I've seen so far. There's going to be one between the Chelsea and Leeds game. This might be difficult too. One between the Palace and United game. This shouldn't be too bad. Also, United Everton back-to-back twice. Damn. And we have another UCL game between this one too. Yeah, both of these are probably going to be rough. I hope we have easier UCL draws. It looks like the knockout stages, I don't expect us to be in the playoffs. I expect us to just go straight to the round of 16 and finish in the top 8. So if that's true, we're going to have one between the Villa and the Ipswich game. We're going to have one right before this Newcastle game, which will be rough, and after this Newcastle game, which will be rough. If we do make it to the quarters, if we make it to the semis, between Leeds and Chelsea is not great. And then on the other side of that, it is going to be between the Man City, and this is also going to be bad. So based on the UCL placements, I think this is going to be a difficult schedule still, so there's going to be some difficulty here and there. Maybe we're going to get some draws around some of those times. Hopefully we can still crack about 80 points. That's my goal for this season, is for us to get over 80 points in the league. Whether or not we win it is kind of secondary to that. I think if we can crack 80 points, that would be pretty successful compared to the 60 that we finished on last season, this season. I don't really think this new season starts until the 1st of July, because that's when all of the signings become official. So unlike the Champions League, I think it's just harder for me to find the Carabao Cup and FA Cup times, but you can kind of assume that it'll be in between the weekend games that have already been said and that aren't occupied by Champions League games. But I think overall, yeah, you play all teams twice. It shouldn't matter either way, but sometimes it's easier to balance and rotate a squad depending on how intense or difficult your fixtures actually are, how many difficult games you have back-to-back. It's also good not to have a lot of easy games back-to-back. It builds a lot of complacency in a squad. And also, if we're going to constantly have to break down low blocks every single game, it'll probably not make people as interested as they would have been normally. But that is it for me in this video. If you liked the video, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on Twitter and Substack at The Counterpress. And as always, thanks for watching.